Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Hey, should we start or what? I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
I feel like we're driving scooters next to each other and you're going like 90 miles an hour and like, and I'm just kind of like, and you're like, let's go. I'm here. I'm at the restaurant.
Hey, I love you.
You should definitely do that. Spread out your arms and dominate. Just pretend you didn't see that. And welcome to Everything is Content. I'm Julie.
I'm just Erin.
That's just Erin. And
Hi.
Talking to an amazing actress today who's going to teach us a little bit about how to be a star in a thriller.
Yeah, and what's it like to be on a thriller? Is it scary? I want it to be scary.
And how does
she's multi-talented, that one. But we'll talk about that too. But yeah, today the theme is thriller.
Well, the theme is, yes, movies that bring you in. How about creating content that is catches you off guard, makes you think, because our movie review is going to take us in a slightly different direction. Although was it thrilling? Let's get into it. It. First off, you had a lovely holidays and Christmas, and now it's 2021. And what are your 3 top filmmaking or related goals of 2021?
Oh, that's really good. Like big goals or like writing project, like bite size and whatever I want. Oh, yeah. Cool. I want to, there are 4 screenplays that I'd like to get done this year.
That's it? Carry on.
That's one goal. That's features, screenplays I'd like to get done, but I'd also like to be filming a few things too. Plus, hang out with you more. And make beautiful movies with you. Aww. Aren't you moved by that? Come on. Aww.
I think that goal is going to come true by the look of our trajectory so far. And that's a prolific year, and I'm not surprised, and that's why you're so successful. So
how about you? What are your 3? Do you have 3 or more? What do you got? What do you got for me?
I just thought of it now. I would like to finish one screenplay that I've been working on forever, meaning that I'd like to finish the edits of Drone Cats and then actually do a table read of that. To me, that'd be huge. Filming it would be incredible, but that means I need someone else to come on and do that with me. So I'm not in total control, but if I can get it to a place where I'm doing the read and I'm ready to share it or send it out to like screenwriting competitions just to give it some air and some feedback, that would be amazing. And I will say, I'd love to see Middle-Aged Maggie come to life, which is a little.
That would be cool. Yeah.
I have worked on, I don't think we've talked about it on the show before, but it's a TV series that Erin wrote and stars in, and I am a side character who works at an organic potato chip factory, of course, and have a very, very fun part. And that was such a really cool project that you've created. I really hope we get to see some of that maybe come to light. If not, my 3rd goal is to get a role on a series playing a character who is funny, and I get to do lots of improv and also be really loving and nice.
Like the character you play on Middle-Aged Maggie. Exactly. Who, by the way, when we share a screen together on Middle-Aged Maggie, I cannot keep a straight face.
I want to see, I haven't even seen any of the footage. We should put some footage on and then people can see.
I could probably make that happen.
Hey, Sonny, come and check out Maggie's hot date for tonight.
Don't, this is getting a little embarrassing.
Oh, wow. He looks like Bruno Mars.
No, he doesn't.
This is ridiculous. Exactly. Looks more like Lenny Kravitz.
You guys, we have a staff meeting to get to, so maybe we should just wrap this all up.
Bo, come here. Who do you think Maggie's date looks like?
Boy, George.
It was a controlled environment. It was good. We had such great people that we were working with, and there's something there. So
It's so fun.
it made me realize how incredible, what a fun experience that would be worth taking all the acting lessons for to be good enough to continue to do. So
We were just a whole bunch of monkeys they were filming. Segue.
yes. Film review of the week, Erin. Thank you for your torturous choice, because Gummo was so lighthearted. I'm glad we
You went somewhere pretty, yeah.
12 Monkeys.
Well, would you like me to for those who aren't familiar with this cinematic wonder, I will share what it is. 12 Monkeys, also known as 12 Monkeys, is a 1995 American science fiction film directed by Terry Gilliam?
Gilliam.
Gilliam? Thank you. Inspired by Chris Marker's 1962 short film, La Jetée, starring Bruce Willis, Madeline Stowe, and Brad Pitt, with Christopher Plummer and David Morse in supporting roles. After Universal Studios acquired the rights to make it as a full-length film, David and Janet, I'm reading like the...
read the whole Wikipedia.
All right, hang on. Just sit down, everybody. This is going to take a while. A deadly virus released in 1996 wipes out almost all of humanity, forcing survivors to live underground. A group known as the Army of the 12 Monkeys is believed to have released the virus. The running time of this was 129 minutes. It came out in December of 1995, a lovely Christmas movie, and had a budget of 29.5 million, box office totals $168.8 bills. What did you think?
So I watched this with my husband, as I seem to be doing with a lot of these movies, which is super fun because I get to see the different perspectives. And one thing I really enjoy about watching movies with a group of people is just to see how varied the response can be. We finished this movie ended, and he was like, I'm waiting for your return.
I'm always here with you. Never forget that.
He was like, where's Aaron? He was like, that was a good movie. And I was like, well, like you could just tell, like as a man in his mid 40s and living in, North America, whatever his category, his demographic, it was just like, yeah, nailed it in every sense. And it's a bit of a mind bender. The acting is very enthralling. Like, I think it's really good. Very interesting to watch, especially Brad Pitt, the way he twitches and gets all crazy and is like his roaming eye and like, it's and you know what, this is what I really liked about the film, or one particular aspect of it that I really appreciated. The writing is excellent. The storyline is so unique. And then they take you on these twists where you're going down one side and then they bring you back and you're like, what? Like a lot of unexpected turns. So it was quite rewarding in that there was an anticipation, there was a buildup. It had an ending, not like some other movies we've watched. But it also, took you down corners and then brought you back. And so the whole time you're like, oh, I don't really know, I don't really know what's going to happen next. And other parts you could anticipate. So you get rewarded on both, where you're surprised, but also you have the buildup and the response that you were kind of hoping for it to feel. And how apropos, I kind of actually like watching doomsday pandemic kind of movies, even though we're in one now. There's still, what is that? It's not even a Schadenfreude because we're experiencing it. I like that stuff. It's fascinating. I wanted to watch Contagion, when this pandemic hit too. Well, that was different. But what did you think? What are you into this? Is this your jam? Like,
I loved it so much. I loved it so much. And it's been several years since I have seen it originally. And so you forget the nuances. I've changed as a person since I watched it the last time. I forgot that Brad Pitt was even in it. And then he came on and I'm like, oh, I love you so. I mean, he was brilliant. I loved his character so much on every level. And yes, the twists, the turns, yes. We're gonna like have a big yes right now in front of us. Yes.
Bruce Willis was also like fantastic in it, I thought. And from what I researched on it, he was very flexible with the director, took a lot of sort of new directions with his own acting, what he had used in previous films. There was like a list of 10 things he wasn't allowed to do that were Bruce Willis isms. And they originally cast, I think, they wanted to cast like Jeff Bridges in the role of the lead, but Bruce was a bigger star, and they traded him out and made a deal with the director, Terry, that he could have final cut, but they wanted Bruce as the lead because they knew he could bring in the numbers. And so that was the agreement. And thank goodness too, because you ended up with this film that it didn't get marred by too many people in there trying to make the right, producer's film. It was the director got to see his vision through, which I think why it was so successful. And I think, didn't Brad Pitt, he like won a Golden Globe or got nominated for an Academy Award for it, something? He did well.
If he didn't, he deserved it. I'm gonna write a letter to somebody if he didn't. I don't know. Critical reception. Yeah, it did good. Roger Ebert thought it was great.
I would say this is a good date movie because it's intelligent and interesting and has all the aspects that can keep everyone engaged. And if there's two people watching, I'd say one for sure is going to like it. So
I would say if you're of the camp that you liked this movie and you're going on like a first date with somebody that doesn't like the movie, I think that's like you should stop dating.
Use it as a litmus test to see if you want to see them or not.
Absolutely.
I'll give you lots of for dinner as well. So how many apples are you?
Oh, I have a dog in my lap. So let's talk apples. Should I go big? I kind of want to just like go big. I'm going to say 9.5.
Wow.
My highest ever.
Highest score ever. 9.5. Holy.
And you know what tipped it over the edge for me? Because I'm hanging around a lot of actors lately, I truly appreciated the performances. And Bruce Willis in his prime was lying on the ground naked at one point. So, yeah.
There was some butt. There was like a number of scenes with some butt in them.
With some cheeky cheeks. So anyway, I'm giving it a 9.5. You try to take that away from me.
I applaud that generosity. I'm going to give it I'm going to give it, do reviewers review for other people? I don't know. I'm trying to, you know what? We should really come up with a rubric of how we rate these movies. I feel like I'm doing it very emotionally for this.
That's season 2.
Okay. So for now, I'm going to give it 8.
Well done.
I'm going to give it was across the board, it achieved a lot of ticks, and it was good. So I wouldn't put it into my all-time favorite movies, but I definitely put it up there on the list of movies to watch in your lifetime. For sure.
Agreed. And I would also see part of my judgingness is that I sit back and I go, do I wish I made that? And if the answer is yes, higher score.
And what's going on with that little thing on your finger there? Is that
it's okay, true story. This is sidebar. This is for your hair. Now I just want you to have a look at this. Yeah. It's supposed to be a headband.
It's like a wristband. What? It's supposed to be? No.
It is. It's advertised. It's advertised. Like I'm going to cut off circulation. You're going to have to call somebody in for help. This is what it's supposed to do. For real. This is because you asked. I hope you're happy now.
That would never fit on my head. Actually,
I have a headache.
That looks good. That actually looks good. That's a good color on you. You should not keep it on for the show though if you're going to mess up.
So that's why it's in my hand and not glad you asked. You know you're not. So, speaking of great acting, I think we should introduce somebody that is going to be our guest for today. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Okay, so I do have a 12-page biography of this woman who I also have worked with many a times. I think she's wonderful. I often joke that it's actually not fair. She's not a fair person because she is possibly the nicest person you'll ever meet. Sweet as pie, kind-hearted, generous. She's a dancer, she's a DJ, she's a writer, she's an actress, and does them all well. And she's goddamn gorgeous. So it's not fair, but I love her anyway. Please welcome Keilnai Rose. There she is.
And she's timely. She's on time.
And she's smiling. Rude! Rude! Get off!
Thank you, guys.
Welcome to our show. How are you doing today?
Beautiful. It's a good day.
Yes, you are.
Good day to be here.
You are, I'm just fixing one thing here. Sorry, technical things. Welcome to the show. Thank you. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about your bio, just some cool things that you've been involved in over the past couple of years, because I know you've got lots.
Woo. Well, a very exciting thing, and the reason why this lovely lady has come into my life. Our movie that we made right before the pandemic is coming out. It's called The Sinners, and it'll be on all platforms. That one was a thriller where I got to play one of the leads, who was one of the members of the cult of this group of high school girls, and you know, it was just really fun to be part of such a classic female-driven story, and we'll talk more about that later because I know you guys were saying the theme of today is thrillers. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the big ones, and I think because of that, you know, everything unfolds divinely, and the relationships that came out of that led into a bunch of waterfall movement that like led into some really cool projects that I'm working on now. One of them is called Breathe, and it's with my good friend Cody Kearsley. It's going to be a short film that touches on the subject matter of addiction and how that affects Indigenous communities. And then also Aaron and I had partnered up again to write a web series called Flimsy, which is a comedy. And we actually executed that one during quarantine, which was pretty unbelievable. I'm pretty proud of us because that was, you know, such a different way of filmmaking. It was just really cool to see how we could stay in that zone of creativity and find innovative ways to still stay connected to each other and to our arts. So that one we are really proud of because it's doing the film festival tour right now.
Oh, can you talk about a little bit more about what it's about, or are you ready for that, Erin? Or can we just talk about Flimsy for a minute since we've been covering pandemic all this episode?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, what was the idea?
Keilnai, you go.
Comedy.
Oh, lucky, I know.
The cool part about it was that we shot it in 5 different countries with 13 actors, and everybody was in isolation. So we created the illusion that we were together through the genius of our cinematographer, Tracy Coney, who came off of The Magicians on Sci-Fi. And it was cool because every time we had a filming session, you know, the video village was basically Zoom. So you had the director on Zoom, the DP on Zoom, and we just all had to be super self-sufficient with learning terminology, directions from the DP on setting up our lighting and all that kind of stuff. So it was, you know, it was a huge learning curve. And I think a lot of us, I mean, we all have such great appreciation for the teams in the village that makes everything work, but to have to be doing it all on your own and really just like carrying all of it, it was just, you know, you really, really do come to a new awareness of that gratitude because it's a lot. But the story is about 2 best friends, struggling artists. One wants to become an actor, one wants to become a DJ, and just all the ups and downs of them chasing their dreams and some ridiculous, ridiculous mayhem that they get into.
It was fun.
And it looks like they're actually, it's just like a cut. It's like, looks like it's a camera cut, but really one of them's in one country and one of them's in another. And like, is it green screen on the back? Is that how you guys do it?
No, we actually went through virtual tours in each of our spaces to see which corners and walls and props we could use. So we kind of tried to, we wanted to like let people know that we were not together, but like have them believe that we were together. So it was through the passing of props and like, you know, almost TikTok style, but, you know, sort of trying to find ways into it, you know?
Wow, what a cool idea. What a way to make something really creative out of this time. So we can see that in the coming months then, right? Or when will it?
Yeah, we're just sorting through which platform we'll be releasing it on. So stay tuned.
Can I release on this our Sizzle Reel?
Ooh, I'm sure that would be amazing. Let me double check with the team, but I think that's, you know, that's going to be great.
Okay, well, I'll cut that part out if it's a no.
Yeah. Yes, let's play it now.
Yay!
I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
No hands! Oh, fuck! Nina, have you seen my keys?
Keys.
Damn it! I'm late!
Oh, shit. Do we help her?
When you're done, yeah, you're knocked to the ground.
Thanks, guys.
And you don't wanna fight another round. If there's anything that I
Okay, Cadence, you got this. You got this.
today. Whoa.
This time's gonna be different. I'm going to talk to him.
Like, how do you do it?
Want to learn? I have a DJ school.
Seriously?
You're gonna owe me.
Deal. Thank you, London!
This is Mr. A, and he's looking for some staff.
Wait, can I start?
Correct.
Nina, I got a job! Oh!
I booked a callback.
What? No.
Yes, I did. My first. It was the summer of 2000. And I had masturbated for the first time.
Brilliant. So brilliant.
Did you order extra sausage?
Scene.
Gangsters gonna be gangsters. You can't fuck with me.
Cadence, my dear. I have a little soiree coming up soon. You could be the DJ. Will you try out your new skills?
Yes, I would love to. This is a huge opportunity. I think it's time to party, bitches.
Psilocybin? Anybody?
I am in.
Oh, fuck yes.
All the stars are dancing around my head. We gon' rock the party right. Keep them dancing all night. Say woo-wee. Say woo-wee. Let it go.
It's happening, Fina. Things are finally turning around.
What could possibly go wrong? Her purse is on fire. Oh my god.
Holy shit. I know.
Flimsy.
There we go.
But you know, I would just say about that one that it was really, really, truly, honestly selfish of me because I was just missing all of my friends. I was missing being creative. I was missing that element, and it's so healing and like strengthening, you know, what we do, especially with each other. So I think it was my excuse to be like, hey guys, let's round up the gang. Let's do something fun.
That's pretty much how it happened too. It was literally a phone call and, hey, what are you doing? Well, nothing, because none of us are doing anything. And it formed from there, from your beautiful little brain.
It's yeah, because your career would be affected if you're a dancer and a DJ and an actress. You sort of got hit on all fronts as far as not having the same access to audiences, I'm guessing, right? Although, is DJing, are you still able to do that in some way with a strong platform like online?
Yeah, it's definitely shifted. Everyone's been adapting. There's platforms like Twitch that you can use where you can, in a sense, depending on your fan base, they can, contribute points, and then it kind of turns into money somehow, but it's not the same, obviously. But there's ways. So it's just kind of, adaptation and just trying to find the silver lining right now. And I think for me, that's definitely been just loving being at home with my family, having the quiet to like see what comes from it, what comes from like that quiet when you just really get to sit with yourself and be with yourself and what wants to come out. Which I guess is the next segue. Erin asked me an interesting question at the end of Flimsy, which was, Keilnai, in your dream world, what would be next? And I kind of came to her with this very, I don't know, I get deep sometimes. So I'm like, Erin, a lot of my personal discovery right now is to do with reconnecting to my roots and my heritage. And I feel like it's just trying to come out of me, in every which way possible through every artistic thing that I do. And I think it's probably just going to be something about that. She's like, I love it. Let's do it. So we've been writing a feature screenplay together, but that's going to be a drama. It's a story about family and belonging. And we're almost finished the first draft. So it'll be exciting to bring that one to life soon too.
To be clear, it's Kay's story, and much like she's the chef in the kitchen, I am her sous chef on this one. I am backseat driving and adding things along, but she's driving this bus.
Is this your first feature as a writer of the screenplay?
Yes, it is.
Congratulations. Is it what's the category?
It's going to be a drama.
It's going to be a drama. Okay.
Yeah, it is a drama, I should say. And Erin, I just got to say thank you, because it wouldn't have honestly been born without your encouragement and support.
Oh, shut your pretty face.
No, I learned so much from this woman, and like it's really great to be on the journey with her together. So yeah, that's kind of the main menu right now going on over here. Spinner, Breathe, Flimsy, and our working title is Sunflower, but we're trying to find what's going to stick with that one. Oh wait, can I tell you one more thing?
Yeah.
This is a really exciting one that's really close to my heart, and I've told Erin snippets about it. My little sister. So my family is, I just try to keep up with them really. My mom is an incredible artist. Me and my two younger sisters learned Hawaiian dancing from her since we were young. So that was my first sort of intro into the arts. And growing up, we've all kind of found our little niches. So my sister is a really goddamn talented musician and composer and singer and rapper. She's working on her first EP. And so I'm going to be directing some of her music videos for it, which is going to be a cool family affair that I'm really excited about. So that'll happen this year too.
And anything coming out soon or later on in the year? We'd love to play some of that.
In a couple of months, yeah. Oh, wait, which one? What was your question?
The music videos. I'm just
the music videos. Yeah, I think we were hoping for something around Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of depends on COVID stuff and just our dream locations, etc. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted.
You're so fortunate to be in an artistic family with that, you guys can really share and support each other, inspire each other. Like that's been your growing up sort of environment by the sounds of it. Hey?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I feel lucky.
And what about, what took you into the direction of acting then? Was it, you were dancing and doing music first and then realized that you could do that?
It's interesting. When I look back at it, I feel like I have a couple different answers depending on, the level that we're going to go with deepness, but application-wise, the very first thing that I did with acting actually happened to be a Crime Stoppers campaign. I was
God.
I know, I was like, where did this all begin? I was in high school and there had been a sexual assault on a young girl in Prince George. And the police were trying to find the perpetrator. And so they had come to, I don't know if it was my drama class or if it was my school, and they were just like, we need a volunteer because we're just trying to recreate what happened so that we can put out this thing and see if anybody, if it triggers any witnesses to come forward.
Yeah.
And so that was actually the first thing that I did. And now I look back at it and I'm like,
It was a reenactment, but
I think it speaks a lot to why I love doing what I do. It's because I really want to make a difference. And I think that also speaks to the evolution of dance to acting, to writing, to directing, hopefully, and producing now is just finding ways to take the wheel with the stories that we want to tell and how we want to tell them and how we want to produce them and like create, the work that we do to tell them and who is, represented on camera and who is also represented behind the camera, in the writer's room, at the director's table, just across the board, how we can really, make positive change with what we do.
Wow.
It's awesome that you're so clear on that perspective going into it too, right? That you're leading with that rather than discovering it 20 years from now in the industry, that you can really begin and build and curate your career with such clarity and such impact. Did they solve the crime?
You know what? I'd have to go back on that. I feel like it was so I don't want to say overwhelming because it didn't specifically happen to me, but like understanding the weight of it, I feel like I was maybe a little intimidated by it. So I kind of like did my job and then I was like, okay, thanks guys.
Wow, what an interesting story.
But yeah, I don't follow up on that. But I would also say as a part 2 answer to your question, aside from like where I trace back the application of stepping into acting, the feeling of what it means to be a storyteller, I feel like is embedded in me because of my culture. The indigenous roots that I have from the Kwetli First Nation in Prince George, but also my Hawaiian indigenous roots from Polynesia, the similarities between the two cultures are really cool because we never used to have a written language before colonization. It was always passed down through songs, through dance, and through storytelling and games. And so to like realize that in my adulthood and just understand why it really just feels like home for me to be in that type of creative space, I think it was always there, and it's just been trying to like find ways to get out always.
That's really beautiful. That actually gives me chills. You can feel it. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, I think it's,
That's lovely. So what, in addition to, sorry, puppy time first. So in addition to working on the music video and continuing with Flimsy that's in festivals, how many awards have we won thus far?
We have won more than one handful. I think we've won about 6. We've done an Outstanding Achievement Award. We've done a Best Pilot. We've done a Best Quarantine Series. We've done.
There's an award for that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I guess so. 2020 was the year of firsts.
So many. So in addition to that, what are your big goals for this year?
Oh man, I knew you guys were going to ask me this and put me on the spot. The funny thing about this is that I make a point of doing this journaling either right before New Year's or right after New Year's, depending on the flow and where I'm at. And this year I had so much on the list that I had wanted to really wrap up before the end of the year that kind of trickled over a little bit because it was just on such a roll that I'm like, I didn't actually sit down and do that journaling yet. But if you're going to put me on the spot, I would say this year, really, in a nutshell, I think the theme is going to be learning how to take care of myself more. Because I noticed that if I reflect back on last year, and some patterns that I, you know, I'm trying to really grow from, is just like, if I want to do all this stuff to show up for my communities and for the world, I really have to, you know, make sure that I'm straight and I'm in a strong place. And I think that it's definitely a pattern within like my family, that we really are, like, my mom is such a giver, and it's so beautiful, and it's ingrained in a lot of the females in my family. But I think just the practice of really putting myself first this year, and I don't know what forms that'll take. I think that's going to have to come out of my journaling, but really just wellness all around. And I think once I tap into that really solidly, then everything else that comes out, which is also on the list, will be hopefully a home run. But, you know, making more, finishing the screenplay, bringing it to life. I think that's really, really, really what's keeping me excited right now. Hopefully we're allowed to travel again, because I miss seeing different parts of the world and what perspectives that gives us into our own privilege, and just creatively. And then I think I'm also I'm excited because I made a new friend when I was just before the end of last year. And I don't know if I'm allowed to let the cat out of the bag yet, but I think there's like a really big, exciting, there's a really big, exciting project that I might get to be invited to make a little cameo on, that they're trying to decide if they're filming in Toronto or in New Orleans right now. And I think I'm allowed to say this much. If I don't give away who and what, but I think my mom's going to be excited because it might mean that I get to play an Irish dancer.
That's like a dream. I have an obsession with the Irish accent, and to always want to do one and act like I have one, and I don't do it very well. But I'm already super excited to see you do this, because an Irish dancer would be amazing.
Oh, and the reason I say that is because my grandma, my mom's mom is Irish, and so yeah, I'd be like,
that's a good. Who knows? Maybe we were like distant cousins somewhere. Also, I didn't want to take away from your story when you told it, but I would like to share with you that I too had my first acting experience in a Crime Stoppers video. I was in grade 3 or 4, and I was doing a reenactment of buying drugs on the street, and then it cuts to, first it's me in my little jean jacket, and some guy offers me drugs. Do I want pot or hash? And I'm like, I don't know, how much? And then I buy the drugs, and then it cuts to me in an ambulance, and it's like rushing to the hospital, and I wish so much I had a copy of this.
oh my god,
yours is a little like a lot more intense, but do you have like the video?
It must be in the archives, right? We should find these. Let's
go on a campaign for our Crime Stoppers archives. All the actresses and actors that started on Crime Stoppers.
I mean,
I'm fascinated. I didn't know that Crime Stoppers was like a gateway to being an amazing actress. I'm
just giving people opportunities.
But let's bring it back to being in a thriller, because we had such a we were on this topic, and what I'm particularly curious about to you as an actress in particular is, do you approach the genre of the film you're in with a different process depending on if it's a comedy or if it's a thriller, just energetically, or how to get into that part? What is that process for you?
Well, on The Sinners, formerly known as The Color Rose, it was my first opportunity to come into a feature film in that capacity and have that much say in my character, and also that much freedom to kind of explore my contribution to the story. And I think through that, I definitely learned that I'm quite a method actor. So for me, what that means, I would say, is just, it does definitely shift from between genres. In thrillers especially, I need to really be prepared ahead of time, knowing safety plans and like my kind of limits and where, you know, I want to bring the stakes before I go beyond what's safe, for lack of a better word. I feel like the thrill, if I may, of pushing those boundaries is something that definitely ignites like a little bit of fire in me, and I love that about that genre. And then if you transfer it over to comedy, I find that like, you know, in Flimsy, my character is such a hot mess. I do live in that space when I'm, you know, when I'm there. So it's like, it's fun. It's fun all around. The reason why I say the thing about pushing boundaries with the thriller is because there's like, you know, specific risks.
Sure, I got what you meant.
Sorry, but we don't.
Was she Irish or was she British? What accent did she have?
I think it's British. I like the British ones. But no, just the stories and thrillers definitely push you to extremes. You know, people are dying, people are whatever, and so I physically there were moments where my body was taking a toll because I just really wanted to push to that space. And yeah, it was the first time I found myself in that position where I was realizing that that's the way I worked. So it was a good lesson. The whole experience was filled with valuable lessons. You know, we had an amazing team of female showrunners, and it was just like every step along the way, support, sisterhood, just so much growth. And yeah.
Can you give an example of you were saying that you had you were able to contribute more to this character than usual? Is that in the moment, like was it improvisation of the script, or how did that happen for you that you got took you out of you're talking about method acting and stuff like that? What was different?
I think I was just really lucky with the team, you know. There was, you know, challenges for a lot of us because for some of us it was our first time stepping into something of that capacity. But I will say that what I felt would be a prime example of that was just the relationship that Aaron and I developed on set, which was really open and collaborative. And it was just like, okay, so this is what's on the page, and like, we have so much room to play around with improv, with whatever, and like, what are you getting from this? And like, down to, for example, like the blocking in some of the scenes where it wasn't specifically scripted sometimes, and it gave us a lot of freedom to see where the movement was going to take us. And so the one that I really loved was actually a scene. Am I allowed to talk about these specifically right now? If I don't give anything away, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Actually, you know what? It's fine because it's in the trailer. It's in the trailer, so it's out there.
If it's in the trailer, then all good. Let's do it.
The 7 best friends are searching for one of their missing friends. We don't know what's happened to her yet. They feel responsible because they were just trying to play, you know, a prank on her or whatever. And like, as the scene unfolded, we're deciding that we can't, it's getting dark, we got to get out of here. Our parents are going to wonder where we're at. And as we get into the car, I just found this really cool moment where my character, Katie, who's kind of supposed to be the baby of the group, throughout the arc of the story, I think I really loved finding those opportunities to show how much she loved her friends. And because it's a thriller and because there's 7 main characters and so much is happening all the time, I think that finding that little detail with her was so important to me. And it was like a moment where we were all jumping in the car and I happened to be the last one to get in and close the door. And I just have a moment where I kind of like look back and it's just like, I don't want to leave my girl behind, but like, we got to go. And like, hopefully we find her again. So just like things like that. I would say that were a total gift in that process.
Wow, that's wonderful. I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day to come and talk to us and hang out with us.
You guys are the best. I love talking and hanging with you.
You're the best. Well, we'll have you back down the road. It's when we have the release of Flimsy, maybe, or something else wonderful that you're doing, because you're just that wonderful. But thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's really interesting listening to your journey, and it seems like you've experienced quite a few unique things that are, you know, valuable to share too. I can see you working with other young actresses and DJs and talking about this stuff, because it's so nice to just hear stories straight from the field too. And you've got a lot of different fields you play in, so that's very great.
Well, hopefully we'll all be playing together again soon.
Yeah. Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you. Bye. And to the rest of our viewing peeps, thank you guys.
Did we say goodbye actually? I don't remember.
I don't know. Well, see ya. We'll be back.
See ya.